The winner at the weekend that actually interested me most is the one that would fire up all the bots. Patrick Reed won the Live event, his first win on the Live Tour in Dallas, and it's immediately started this conversation about whether or not Patrick Reed ought to be on the Ryder Cup team, which as a European, I hope he is. Because it almost guarantees.
He's 7-3 in 3 career appearances.
Yeah, well, you know, DJ played great in Ryder Cups 10 years ago as well, but he's not going to get a chance to do so this time around. And it's at a certain point, I think if you go back to the Glen Eagles Ryder Cup, that's when the American team decided to prize unity over everything else. And that really became emphasized after Patrick Reed's contretemps in Paris with Jim Furyk after the 2018 Ryder Cup. So the idea, if you're Keegan Bradley and you have a deep bench on your team, the idea of introducing toxicity into the team room makes no sense whatsoever. And it doesn't get much more toxic than Team Reed in golf. The idea of introducing that into a team room when you don't need it just seems to me so outlandish, but I do hope as a European that it happens.
And that was one of the characteristics of Jim Furyk's President's Cup team last year, of which Keegan Bradley was a part that he noticed. The inclusive culture, trying to treat everything like a family, bringing in the caddies, bringing in the wives. I think that is certainly a point worth bearing. Keegan Bradley, though, to counter this, has said repeatedly, I want the 12 best Americans regardless.
They never really mean that, though.
Of tour affiliation. Why not?
They mean the 12 best that they're willing to tolerate is usually what it means.
But Patrick Reed, if you look statistically, he's now a top 30 player, according to Data Golf. He's right in that category of a Harris English, a Matt McNeely, an Andrew Novak, all of the players who are probably going to be considered.
It's not just form that matters. I mean, Keegan was left out. Keegan said he was left out of the last team because he wasn't part of the boys' network. So clearly form isn't the only thing that matters.
Keegan is a big fan of passion. However, Keegan Bradley, his passion, his match play record, his current form, I think it's going to come down to how he plays at the Open Championship, the last opportunity for Patrick Reed to play against all of the best players in the world, not just some of them.
Well, it's time now for a Golf Today Roundtable. We're going to welcome in Todd Lewis and Taylor Zarzour from Sirius PGA Tour Radio. Taylor, I want to start with you. You've been listening to this conversation. Who's more likely to be on the US Ryder Cup team, Patrick Reed or Ryan Lavner?
Definitely Patrick Reed. Big fan of Lav's short game, but you have to be able to make a lot of putts if you're going to win at Bethpage Black. And look, I hear what you're saying, Eamon, and it's a dangerous proposition to put him on that team. But if you can putt and you can win points for the United States of America, I think that matters more than the way that you get along with people. And look, candidly, it gives you and me and everyone that loves the game of golf a lot to talk about. The guy is having a great year, not just on Live. He's been in contention in major championships. So far in 2025, Patrick Reed looks like one of the 10 to 20 best American players. So I think he will be heavily considered in the months to come.
T-Lou, Keegan Bradley is going to have to sort of weigh his own resume against Patrick Reed's resume. As it relates specifically to Keegan, what do you need to see over these next couple months to potentially sway your opinion whether he should be remaining as the captain solely or also as a playing captain?
Well, I think he's already established himself as one of the top 12 Americans on the planet. And it's easy to make the argument that he should be on the team right now. If he continues to play consistently, then yeah, he should be on the team. But you have to also ask yourself, if you're Keegan Bradley and if you're the PGA of America, where is Keegan Bradley the most important for the United States team? As a player or as a captain? And if he's a great player that can win you points, then, you know, maybe you kind of make Jim Furyk the pseudo U.S. captain. Or possibly, I mean, I haven't heard this idea, but maybe the PGA of America comes in and says, Keegan, we need you as a player. We'll give you a captaincy down the road, but let's let you concentrate on just being a player. Let Jim captain this team. But yeah, I think he's a good enough player. He's going to bring all that passion to Bethpage. A lot of players are going to want to play with him as a partner, but I think right now he's more important as a player than a captain.
Taylor, the Europeans have got to be loving this kind of lack of clarity around the captaincy and the duties and the potential addition of a Patrick Reed to the team, right?
Oh, yeah. No, there's no question about it. And the Europeans will play we're the underdog card, even though they're having the greatest start to any season I can remember. And they're the deepest team in recent memory too. And by the way, T. Lou's not just a great karaoke singer and has great hair. He makes great opinions too, clearly, because if you listen to what he just said about Jim Furyk, I think that that is realistic, that Jim Furyk is, without, whether it's public or not, the de facto captain of this American team. I think there's a real chance he's the privately he's the captain of the team, and Keegan still does the press conferences and acts as if he's the captain publicly. But while Patrick Reed being on the team is to be determined, I'd be shocked if Keegan Bradley is not playing on this team.
Todd, Aldrich Potgieter, now a first-time winner on the PGA Tour. Where do you put him among the pantheon of top PGA Tour players or on the DP World Tour under the age of 25, the true young guns of the sport?
Yeah, I think he's one of the top 10 players in that group. I still think he's got some development. I mean, look, it wasn't the strongest field in Detroit, but he still won on the PGA Tour, which obviously is proven that it's hard to do. But he's been pretty inconsistent so far this season. I will say that what I noticed yesterday were a couple of things. Number one, his maturity, as you pointed out, Ryan, as he said in his press conference, when he lost that lead early in his round, which obviously he doesn't feel comfortable having a lead. When he lost that lead, he decided to change his mentality, to be a little more aggressive. So that was a good, mature switch by him. And secondly, just being in the fire that he has been in over the last year and a half, that par putt that he made on the 72nd hole, that was pretty clutch. And we showed you in the highlights too. He needed another par putt to continue the playoff. I don't know if he would have made either one of those putts if he had not gone through what he went through in Mexico, if he had not gone through what he went through at Torrey, and also last year at the NetBank Challenge when he kind of just threw up all over himself in the final round. But I think you learn a lot from adversities, obviously, and he's done so.
Taylor, how much frustration do you think Max Gracerman leaves with? Because he didn't do very much wrong yesterday, and he leaves with the frustration of a fourth, second-place finish on tour.
Yeah, and especially since he had a couple of putts to win there, Eamon, and not just in regulation. Well, he did in regulation, but then also in the sudden death playoff. I'm certain Max is kicking himself. You know, we talked about Tommy Fleetwood and the close calls, and we have gone through all of that with Fleetwood for years. Max Gracerman feels a lot like Tommy Fleetwood did the week before after those missed opportunities. But he is having a great year. It is one of the best seasons he's had on the PGA Tour, and you would think he's going to give himself more opportunities. But each time we say that about someone, oh, Tommy Fleetwood will win coming up in a few weeks, or Max Gracerman will win later this year, it doesn't always work out that way. You know, when you lose an opportunity like that, you wonder, when will he get it again?
T. Lou, off the golf course, there was another mandatory player meeting last week at the Rocket Classic, meeting with new PGA Tour CEO Brian Rolapp. What are you hearing from players after that meeting as it relates to the future of the PGA Tour?
Well, I'm hearing positive reviews from some of the players that I've had a chance to talk to. I think that a lot of them really like the idea. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but at least right now they're saying this. They like the idea that the new CEO is coming from outside of golf, coming from obviously a prominent tier sport in the NFL, and he's going to maybe bring some different, fresh ideas. I mean, obviously, he was very integral in helping grow the NFL into the giant that it is right now, and they feel like maybe that he can do that same, use that same energy and that same magic with the PGA Tour. But Roll-Up seems to be very much invested in this, very much invested in the players, very much in growing the fan base. So initially, right now, although he hasn't given a lot of ideas, the attitude is very, very positive towards the players, and the players are receiving it.